Hey guys, Anime Gypsy here with Boruto episode 29 review. Now, I like this episode, but at the same time, I hate this episode. It's a complicated relationship between me and this episode, and I'll explain to you why it's complicated. Alright? Overall, this episode has different parts, nine different unique scenes, and every single one of those scenes has things that I like and things that I don't like, and they're mixed in so well that I love this episode, and at the same time I hate this episode. Okay, so let's get started with this. The first scene. The first scene. We have the new seven ninja swordsmen, and my initial reaction to this is, oh boy, you have a bunch of children thinking that they could do whatever they want as long as they get their hands on blades. And, you have thugs that could do A and B and C, just basic ninja skills. Or what? Low tier tuning at best. And they now have their hands on regular weapon. On the ninja swordsman, ninja swords, the unique ninja swords. And I'm like, okay, I wonder how this is going to go. Now, I like this because it presents the threat of the arc. And now the arc intensifies, and now you need to cram information about the situation in order to set up a proper confrontation, which is what happens next. You have in the next scenes. But before I get to the next scenes, I'd like to read off the names of said how should I say this? Uh, children with blades. First off, Buntan Kurosaki. Second off, Kagura Katatachi. Third off, Shizuma Hoshigaki. Fourth off, Kyoho Fue Fuki, which I really hate. I'm gonna get to that later. And then Ichirota Oniuzu. And finally, Hasaku Onomichi. Now, let's get to those guys and just talk about every single one of them. First off, Buntan Kurosaki. We find out that she's Raiga's daughter. Now, for you guys who justifiably forgot who Raiga was, which I didn't because I watched the original Naruto fillers. You could hate on me all you want, but a lot of them were fun, especially the curry one. No, sorry. That aside, Raiga was a filler character and later became a manga character in Naruto. He was the wielder of the unique blade Kiba, the original guy. The guy people don't realize how badass this character was in the filler. This guy chose to vaporize himself using his lightning style, which was an epic scene. And seeing his daughter, just really made me happy. It's like, okay, maybe they have some promise. Maybe they have some promise. And and then just seeing her so effortlessly using lightning style, I'm guessing she's a genin. I was like, okay, I'm digging this. And then we get to and then we get later on in the confrontation, and we find out that she's gonna get a one-on-one with Sarda, which I shouldn't be talking about right now because we're talking about the first scene. Actually, no, I'll save that for the last scene. Alright? Next up in the list, we have Kagura Katatachi, which I have made videos about, so I'm not gonna discuss him in this video. I'm just gonna leave a link down below with two videos I did that relate to Kagura and Kagura's stuff. But all I'm gonna say is he's probably the strongest among them, given that he was probably the only one of them that was giving a seat on the actual ninja swordsman. I don't think the rest of them were. I just think they were thugs of Shizuma. Um, Now, later on, you have. Sorry, not later on. Next, you have Kyaho Fui. Kyaho Fui Fuki. I think I actually missed one of them. I don't have the name of one of them, but Kyaho Fui Fuki is the fat guy. He is the fat guy who is dumb. And I don't like this character at all because his design is so poor. It really is. It was like, okay, well, what are we gonna do? We made the design for 6 of them. All right, we need one last design. Okay. He's the guy that uses the brute force using the helmet splitter. What type of design are we gonna give him? Well, we could make him a fat, bald guy with almost no facial features, and he would have brute strength, but he would be very stupid. Yeah, that sounds like a unique idea. Let's put it in there. Nobody has ever gotten this idea before. It is so unique. No, it's so annoying having stuff like it. Come on, guys, you are better than this. You really are. And really pains me to see a character so poorly made, poorly written in a series like this. Come on, guys, you're killing me here. You're killing me. But overall, it just, you know, it just killed the hype. All right. Next, you have Ichirato Oniyuzu, and I'm getting a feel that this guy is some sort of secret leader that's behind all this pulling the strings without anyone noticing, because of a scene at the very end. And he's the guy that uses the explosive sword. And his character design, I'd say, is somewhat unique because, actually, no, it's odd because we haven't seen a character that had been missed with white hair like that before, and pale skin like that before, but, you know, and he looks like a sophisticated character, but other than that, you know. And finally, we have Hasoku Onomachi. And we are going back to the Zabuza fan club. The fan club, by the way, that Chojuro was a part of, may I remind you. Remember Chojuro when he first came? He was, he was sorry, YouTube's new policy. He was salivating. He was salivating at the mention of Zabuza's genitalia. Happy, YouTube? Are you happy now, YouTube? Thought so. Now, another Zabuza fanboy. Not that unique, very boring, very bland. Really, guys? Are you that... just put some heart into it. I saw that you guys put some heart into Shizuma's character. You guys put your heart into Buntan's character, and the string sword girl, who I can't find her name for some odd reason. I don't think they mentioned her name. She also has a unique character, both character design in terms of appearance and character in terms of, you know, character persona. Now, oh, the new ninja swordsman walk in, set an alarm, and I was just talking about the Naruto world in my previous video on the chapter review about how I'm not going to spoil anything, but I was just discussing how the Naruto world is now more reliant on technology and how technology is developing world building itself in the series. You have just straight out of Star Wars. straight out of Star Wars. You have like bots coming up, just like, oh god. Of course, they get annihilated by the new Seven Swordsmen. It was just funny. It just seemed like something straight out of Star Wars. Just drones or something. No, actually, what am I saying? Never mind. Next up, the next scene is Chojuro and Mei when they walk in, basically, when what I call the vault room. Now, I still think Mei is leaps and bounds stronger than Chojuro. No doubt in my mind that she is. The only reason she gave it to Chojuro is probably to find a love of her life, which I don't think she found because she would have been with him. But, you know, that aside. Mei was there, Chojuro were there, and they were talking politics and talking about what are we going to have to do to those new delinquents. And we find out that Chojuro has a adult side to him, where he's like, okay, as much as I hate this, we will have to execute them. That includes Kagura Katsuchi. I was like, okay, Chojuro, showing some characterization here. I like this. I do like this. And then we get to the Boruto and Sarada, and this is the third scene where they're walking out after they've just discussed this, and out comes Boruto and Sarada, and for the sole purpose of story progression, and let me repeat that, for the sole purpose of story progression, you have Boruto convincing Chojuro that, hey, you don't need to involve everyone in this. I will deal with this. And then it was a compromise that Chojuro was like, okay, but let me come with you. Boruto threatened Chojuro with an international incident if he didn't agree with this. But what would actually cause an international incident is if Boruto were to have been murdered by the same people that were about to take over the Hidden Mist. Something that would have been less possible if Chojuro acted like an adult in that moment and said, hey Boruto, I'm sorry. We have to take you to a safe place now. This is no time for kids. Your abilities are not Jonin level. We're going to get some Jonin in there. This is the Hidden Mist. We are a ninja village. We have more capabilities than you. I'm sorry. And we need to make an example out of Kagura. That's what an adult would have done. That's what Choji should have done. But that's not what happened. Because story progression, my friends. The story needs to progress in a certain direction where Boruto is involved in everything. Because, newsflash guys, Boruto is the main character. He has to have his hands on everything. Just everything. And it's annoying. Okay? So I was like, alright. At least we're gonna get to see more of Chojiro's ability. And by the way, what would have been smarter? What would have been smarter was if Chojuro was like, okay, I'm gonna stand back. Mei is gonna be your guide. And if something happens, I will step in. With the Hidden Mist, of course. That would have been the smarter decision. But no, because, you know, this is the truth, nothing but the truth, and this is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. If Mei was in there, if Mei was in the final confrontation that was in the end of this chapter, that confrontation would have ended like this. Like this. No competition. Those 7 don't stand a ghost of a chance against the Mei. You guys remember what Mei Torame did? She got her ass whooped by Madara, granted. She did. But, and this is a big but, this is a enormous but, you know, the but that you stare at and just revel in its glory. But she was able to stand to Madara in the first place. She survived Madara. In order to survive Madara, you need to be at least, and I mean at the very least, a high tier Kage level. This girl, just like the second Hokage, was able to summon water out of thin air like this, create water dragons, stop meat. I think she did stop a meteor in one of the movies. My point exactly, she is just, just pure power right there, guys. The only reason she wasn't there was because if she was there would have been no conceivable way for those seven to do anything. And because Chojuro is weaker, granted, I don't think he's as weak as we think he is now, but because Chojuro is weaker, it makes more sense so that there is more thrill in the episode. Just, no. No. This is something I hate about this episode. But at the same time, you know, it's for a greater purpose. The next scene, Boruto and Sadara, basically... Actually, no. Alright, sorry. Next scene is with Denki. Okay, so yeah, the next scene is with Denki and Boruto and Sarda, and they're like, hey, if we're not here, make an excuse for us. And that raises suspicion from three people, you know, just you know, the regular three. You have Iwabe, justifiably. You have Inojin and Shikadai, and all of them go their own way to find out what the hell is going on. And Inojin and actually no, let's go to Iwabe first. Iwabe stumbles upon a fodder character. Let me repeat that, a fodder character who had no business being alive. He stumbles upon him and figures out what's going on through him. Now, actually no, I missed something. I did miss something. Yeah, the fourth scene was establishing a romantic relationship between Shizuma and Buntan, the Kiba girl. Not Konoha's Kiba, the sword Kiba. I don't know. Nobody thinks about Kiba anymore. Kiba's a cool character, I think, in terms of persona. Not a lot of people actually think about him. He, in terms of persona, is one of the more underrated characters. But that aside, okay, we have that going on, which probably will have some effect later on in the story that, you know, there's a romantic relationship between them. There is some chemistry here. And it echoes, and I hate to bring this up, it just echoes reminders of Kisame's flashback when he had to kill his lover. Guys, remember that? That was killer. I know that was one shitty pun. I know. You guys can hate me for that later. Alright, so after that you have Kagura's useless internal dialogue, which we all know. And then we have Boruto coming over to Denki, which is the scene I skipped to. Yeah, we have that going on. Basically, Denki, make an excuse for me, and, you know, eyebrows raise. Everyone is suspicious, but the person he was talking to. Come on, Denki, you're better than this. And this is another thing in terms of story progression, by the way, guys. The only reason Denki wasn't suspicious is because he's weak. Plain and simple. I hate to put it out there, but Denki is weak. Until now, I think he's going to get stronger. But that's something else. I'll leave it for a profile video. A Denki profile video by Anime Gypsy. But after that, you have Boruto, you basically have, you have Shikadai, Inojin, and Iwabe. Like, what the heck is going on? And they go and try and find out what's going on. Iwabe stumbles upon the fodder character that I talked about earlier, and I finished discussing this. Next, you have Inojin and Shikadai. Ho ho ho. Ho ho ho. Trying to find Boruto, but instead, They stumble upon Mitsuki and Suigetsu. Suigetsu, in my perspective, is one of the more underrated characters in the series, along with never mind. Suigetsu, basically saying that he has a mission and yada yada yada, and Mitsuki's like, "Oh, don't interfere. Boruto doesn't want you to interfere in this, and I will protect Boruto and whatnot." And then Suigetsu's like, "Boruto told me," and this is key. I actually messed up earlier in that little sequence. You catch where I messed up when I say this. Suigetsu tells Mitsuki that Boruto told him to tell Mitsuki that everything is fine and he doesn't need to interfere. And that's where I'm like, boy, you lying. You straight up lying, nothing to it. And it's it's just weird. Does Boruto even know about the existence of Mitsuki? The only person those two is Sarada that knows about the existence of Mitsuki, and even the existence of Suigetsu, and even she doesn't know Suigetsu's connection to Mitsuki and Orochimaru. Mitsuki's she doesn't know that yet. Now, that being said, that being said, you have the boss, the strongest person with the exception of May, in the episode by far. Yes, I'm including Chojuro. The strongest person in this episode, with the exception of May, it was Suigetsu. One of the more underrated characters. Remember, he was a high-tier Jonin selected by Sasuke to take on, Akatsuki, where his goal was defeat Sasuke, defeat Itachi. But you get my point. He's an underrated character, sadly. You have him sneaking up behind Inojin and Shikadai. Pistols ready. And just like, oh, don't move or you'll die. And that's when I was like, oh yeah. Oh yeah, anime-gasm coming right up. Just right there. Oh god, that's sexy. That's sexy. Suigetsu, straight up using some sort of camouflage jutsu, as well as his water transformation and water clone, and him threatening to use water pistol out of his water clone. And just so silently. It was just nice. It was a nice scene. It really was. And then Mitsuki's like, oh, okay. I'm gonna use them as an excuse that, hey, Suigetsu, you were outnumbered and therefore we need to interfere with Boruto. Which again proves that for some reason Orochimaru doesn't want them to interfere with Boruto's whole shibago. Just imagine if Orochimaru was in that final confrontation. How that would have ended up. But okay, that aside. So finally, after all that, Suigetsu lets them go, and they're free to go to the confrontation. And then we have the confrontation. And in that confrontation, we have Sarada, Boruto, and Chojuro. And we find out that Chojuro is weak without his blade. That came as no surprise, but I think he's better than this. I think we're going to find out that he has more power. And that's going to establish, that whole shibago. Now, I'm getting tired and it's kind of apparent because I'm mumbling over my words, but I'm going to end this with the finale, the preview for the next episode, where you have Sarada and Buton basically fighting, and you see Sarada copying with her Sharingan Buton's signs. And I'm guessing that's where she learns lightning style. She's like, ah, lightning style. Just from seeing it one time with her Sharingan. Which is okay. This is supposed to be her ability, so I won't argue there. But when Boruto does something like this, Boruto sees Mitsuki using wind style once, and he's just a pro at it automatically. Not to mention how did he use lightning style 2 episodes ago? You know, that's a discussion for another video. And I've been talking too much, guys. I'm sorry. If you are still with me in this video, congratulations, you made it to the very end. And as a reward, as a reward, type TSP dot and then any question on the comments below, and I'll answer them. That TSP is supposed to indicate that you reached the very end. Okay, okay, guys, this is all I have to say about this episode. All right, Anime Gypsy is out. See you guys later.